Hello, my name is Kushal. I work as a neurological occupational therapist in London. Today I'm going to talk about brain injury. I'm going to talk about what is actually brain injury, and I will focus specifically on a particular area, which is concussion injury. So there are a lot of terms floating around, and I will use the ball to explain. So please listen to me carefully. Now, when it comes to brain injury, you will hear two words, TBI and ABI. So the B and I stands for brain and injury. Now the question is, what is T and what is A? So T stands for traumatic. That means it is a result of a trauma. Trauma means accident. And A stands for acquired. Means that is something you have acquired from a condition, and that is not a trauma. So if you had a hemorrhagic bleed, that will be acquired brain injury as a result of an illness or health condition. Whereas TBI is the result of traumatic brain injury. For example, if you have fallen off the ladder and you banged your head and there's a brain injury, or if you have been involved, unfortunately, in a road traffic accident, it could be anything on those lines. So, as said before, I'm going to today focus on concussion injury. Now, concussion injury is related to TBI. Now, what is concussion injury and what is its effect? It is very interesting. Now, if I presume this is my brain, which is sitting in the middle of my skull. So the skull is outside, the brain is inside. Now the brain doesn't sit, there is no gap. Inside the skull, if this is the skull and the brain, in between the layer, there's a jelly kind of substance. So there is the skull, which is the hard outer casing. Inside the brain sits in a jelly like covered with a jelly kind of fluid around it. Now, to hold the brain in place, in the front there are some bones connecting the skull to the brain and holding it in place. Now, because of the brain sits in a jelly, when is a traumatic brain injury and the skull, say if the skull hits something, inside the brain can move backwards and forwards because it is sitting in a jelly. Now, what happens in that process is that the bones that is holding the brain in place, when the brain moves forward and backward, it rubs against the bone. And those bones are quite sharp. And it causes some injury to the brain. Now, the easiest example I've been told is, think about you are using a grater to grate some cheese. The cheese gets grated. So is the effect of the brain when there's a concussion injury. So it gets grated kind of against the bone. And in my another video, I've explained the frontal part of the brain is the part which differentiates human being from animals, and it is the frontal part which is responsible for executive function, which controls our thinking skills, monitoring, high level cognition. I have included a link of the video for executive function in the description of this video. Please watch it. And so that's why when there is a concussion injury, you are likely to get people who doesn't have emotional control. They can get angry very easily, or they might not be able to problem solve. If you ask, what are you going to do today? I'm going to rest. That's a typical answer. So as a result of TBI, people suffer from concussion injury, and that affects their executive function. And that's why they are people after brain injury, personality might change, they might exhibit challenging behavior and so on. I hope this video makes sense. If you know somebody or if yourself had concussion injury, this might sound familiar to you, but I hope today I have explained the reason. If you have any comments, please let me know. Any questions, please let me know. If you find this video useful, please share with your friends and like the video. So I wish you all the best. Thanks for watching.